We just go
Trying
switch
to
it back and
find.
forth.
Look, I can.
So,
That's not good. There we go.
anyways,
Yeah, you look dashing.
you'll be able to check us out on the live here shortly.
Yeah, about 13
And,
seconds ago.
you can always hit us up in our Gmail. And,
Gmail.com/Buns.
we were talking last week about our equipment issues. And, if you go over to our Patreon, patreon.com/Buns and Tubs, you give us money. Money goes directly towards the show for new equipment.
Shout out to the pawn shop boy. I forget what he wanted his nickname to be, but we are gonna do a pawn shop post for him to help him get his name out there in his
Yeah.
area. He sent us. He hit me up one day, and he's like, "Hey, I heard you guys are having some problems. What do you need?" I was like, "We need a Zoom H6, something like that." And he's like, "Oh, I have the exact thing you want."
Yeah.
Well, cool. How much do you want for it? I'll send it to you.
Sweet.
So we have that.
It's good to hear.
Yeah.
I'm
We
glad.
thank you. He said that's my contribution to the nation. And once this is a natural country, we're gonna have to build an alabaster statue
Hmm.
of him and whoever else he wants.
So, like, you mean like the Buns and Tub Nation be an actual nation?
Be a nation without borders, language, or culture.
Yeah, as I say, could I just go live in the woods and be the hermit that I want to be in the first place?
You'd be nature's president like a goat.
Especially now. I don't like talking. I mean, I don't go into my personal business too often, but I quit nicotine altogether last starting last Thursday, and I'm here to tell you now, it's absolutely terrible. I've been on the nicotine train for at least man 18 years. No,
Longer than that.
16 years. Yeah, about 16 years. Let's just say I wasn't of age when I started.
Man, I got that math all the way wrong. I thought it was like
Nah, it's about 16 years.
for some reason, every time I remember us in our childhood, you had a cigarette in your mouth.
I mean, I was about 16, 17 when I really got into it.
Up with hope, down with dope.
Yeah, and I quit last Thursday, and it's terrible. It's still terrible. I'm still struggling a week later.
You had the rage monster in the first place, so
Yeah,
I don't know what to tell you.
like today I found myself multiple times. You know that scene from The Shining where Jack is just staring out the window absently, just like you never got that. You just knew he was slipping into madness. That was me today, like for no reason whatsoever. It's just it's happens. You know what's weird though? It's like a dual ended thing because I hate it, but at the same time, like it's almost like nicotine has just been smoothing over some rough edges that I've had for a long time that I didn't deal with
Mm.
before, and now it's starting to I'm not saying it's opening my third eye wider, but there is something going on. There's new sensations being felt that I don't remember feeling before.
Those are emotions.
That I've just tamped down with nicotine all these years apparently.
Yeah,
And it's weird.
it's good to get it out.
Yeah, I'll tell you one thing. I had to stop doing it because it felt like I wasn't getting any sleep at all. Was wearing one of those nicotine patches while I slept at night.
I love that shit.
No, listen,
Crazy dream.
I did it for like 4 nights in a row,
Yeah.
and I had to stop. I wasn't. It felt like I was literally like awake all the time because when I wasn't like actually awake, my dreams were so vivid and like vibrant and like shit was going on in them that it felt like I was just still awake.
Wow.
Like one night, it was just me watching the movie Porky's.
In your dream?
I watched the movie Porky's in my dream. Like from memory, I watched the entire goddamn movie. And the other weirder part is, I've only seen Porky's like twice,
Hmm.
but I watched the whole fucking movie. Like I sat in my living room and watched Porky's
Well,
in my dream.
when I have a psychic meltdown from anxiety and you have a mental breakdown from anger, just remember we have a lot of shows. You guys can pretend that we're still okay.
Yeah,
Like,
Yeah,
remember that podcast we listened to with Bones and Tubbs, and those guys went fucking crazy.
you remember? It's like the other day I was talking to, I guess I'll call him, Falcor, the Luck Dragon. Uh, he mentioned to me that he's like, I was watching the show the other day. He was like, I didn't know you smoked, and this was like 3 days after I quit, and I was like, I was like, yeah, that's real funny.
Punch through the glass.
Falcor, the Luck Dragon, and you know what's funny is I quit that episode you watched because he's like watch one from like way back, and I was like, that was one. Oh, Falcor, that was one when I was still happy.
Yeah,
That was before the other time.
that was before both of us went reasonably insane.
But you know what it is. I think I finally before I talked about how there's the epigenetic. There's that the berserker mode. I know where it's at now.
Okay, that was not actually
Nicotine was gumming it up and kind of keeping it like buried deep in my psyche. But now that like that shit's washing, it's like almost like a gunk getting washed away. Like actual literal tar got gunked and washed away. So now it's like this knife. Like imagine it was all gunked up before and you couldn't open it, but now it's like this. It's just like this.
right.
That's exactly what it's like.
Pointing.
Yeah,
So it's potently
I know how it opens again.
Do you think there's any truth to that report that we read along? I mean, it's been a while, but we talked about ways. I think it was I forget the title of the episode, but we talked about like all these different ways you could decalcify your pineal gland, and one of the ways to get rid of the fluoridation was through nicotine. Do you think that's a thing? Because they also use it in ayahuasca rituals, but they don't habitually smoke it with carpet chemicals.
Here's the thing, though, man. Honestly, I would say at this point in my journey, I would say it was the opposite because getting rid of all that shit is what's like
Got you woke?
made me angrier.
Yeah.
Like
you do
before,
your
I was
best Alex Jones impression.
Let's run the friggin' frogs game. There you go.
About Zionism.
But that's what I'm dealing with in my life right now. So like, imagine all the normal shit, add that on top of it,
Yeah.
and that's I cussed. I'm sorry.
We love the cuss. We need to shut it down. I'm going to, in honor of the fact that this is our first YouTube live, I'm going to answer things.
Mm-hmm.
And we got one here I figured you'd enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
It's only dangerous. It's only as dangerous as you are stupid, says. Congrats, bro. Been trying myself. Noticed nicotine shut off my third eye years ago. Interesting you should say that.
So I'm not the only one.
No.
I'm telling you, man. It's like it gunks it up.
And it robs your bank account.
Yeah.
I'm using you. I mean, I need to stop too, but I need to get on your bandwagon. 2020 can suck a dick though. Sorry, hold on. I'm sorry. Okay, I take that back. 2020 can kick a rock.
Kick a rock down the street.
Dang it. So
What the crap?
Oh no.
What the crap,
That
Bones?
makes me just want to use the F word in every conceivable way that can be used.
Like I said,
F
like
that dude in the A.
Like I think it's just it tamped down a lot of rage over the years.
The tank tamper.
It tamped down a lot of rage over the years, and now it's all coming back
What
up.
do you think it was though? You've been getting a lot angrier lately. I mean, even before all this, wouldn't you say?
Man, listen, you don't understand. Like, it's actually requiring a lot of mental facility here the last couple of days to keep it in check more than normal. There's things that like normally, like I've just like I'm like whatever about, and just keep coasting, and just think like get in my car and light one up, and I'm like I'm good now,
Yeah.
you know. But today I almost accosted a poor Walmart cashier over a simple mistake.
Well, I mean, you just gotta.
It was a simple mistake, but the way they were going about it was making me very upset.
You know, we both need that 14 CD set by Kevin Trudeau.
And I was sweating. Like it had me sweaty. And you know what the worst part is? I got in my car and there's not a goddamn thing I was like, there's not a gosh darn thing I could do about it.
We just gotta come up with a different word. Start our own language.
Gee golly. You know, it's like when I tried to tried to stop cussing more in front of Jim.
Yeah.
And I surprisingly for a long time, replaced the S word with crumb. Just think about it.
Yeah.
Let it ruminate on it for a minute and then start using it. You know, you crumbhead. You know,
Yeah.
that's a lot of crumb. You know,
Yeah. I also quit cussing in front of my son.
and that's real crummy.
Yeah. Quit being a crumbhead.
Yeah, don't be so crummy.
Yeah.
You know,
Really crummy job.
that tastes like crumb. You know.
Now, you know what? I need your dream interpretation services here in a minute.
Okay.
Because this just happened today, and we'll get there in a second.
Okay.
But what about the term that everybody uses for children that they shouldn't use? Are you ready?
Yeah.
Squirt.
I think it's. Yeah,
Think about it.
I like that.
Yeah. Do you?
Squirt.
Yeah. Get over here, you little squirt.
I mean, that's what they are. Be for real.
We can't say it.
I call that's why like one of Jim's nickname was Chunk, right?
Chunky.
Because I said he instead of a chip off the old block, he was a chunk off the old block.
Yeah.
You know, because he's always been a chunky boy. You know? That chunky boy had me very mad earlier. About yeah.
Nah.
So, but anyways, back to the topics at hand. Apparently, okay.
You care to listen to this dream?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I forgot you had a dream.
It's not symbolic at all.
Okay.
Okay. It's disgusting.
Okay. Let's hear it.
I don't know how else to say this.
Okay.
I woke up. I came into the dream.
Mm-hmm.
No backstory. No nothing.
Mm-hmm.
I was making sex with Hillary Clinton. Yeah. Explain that to me.
Like, really?
Yeah, man. Yeah. As soon as I woke up, after my initial brush with disgust and confusion, I was like, listen, I need to talk to Tubbs.
I think of all the crazy stuff that I have been dreaming about the last week because of quitting nicotine.
Full Porky's movie.
And I not once had a dream that terrible.
No, that's the worst dream I've ever had in my life.
I had dreams about like massive flooding inside my mom and dad's house and like crazy crumb just
crumb,
across the board.
Would you say it was a crummy week of dreams? But not as crummy as that dream.
You know what's weird is it's like it was like some sort of weird electric life. Like you know that show we talked about it last week too, Midnight Gospel.
Right.
It was like my life was like Midnight Gospel. Huh. It was like it was irreverent.
Hello, master.
It didn't make much sense.
Where would you like to go tonight?
And the weird part was I liked it a lot while I was dreaming. Yeah. But when I'd wake up, I'd just be really mad because I'd be like
sleepy.
Yeah, as I say, I feel like I haven't slept at all.
Yeah.
You know? And then last night I finally slept without a patch on and slept like a newborn babe.
Like a baby?
Oh, I woke up refreshed this morning and then made the worst mistake I've made all week.
What's that?
I drank an entire pot of coffee.
Yeah. Yeah, that'll do it.
Because I just needed it and I did some math work and that made me even more frustrated because I was overthinking it once again.
I feel like Asians that are good at math would definitely be smoking cigarettes.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, they definitely would.
Well, they do say, that nicotine addiction is harder to kick than heroin.
I was thinking about that earlier. You know what's weird? I was talking to Toby about this too.
Yeah.
I was talking about how it's just had me in a really weird mood lately. Yeah. Like everything, it's just like it's not even now like I just don't feel right. Right. I feel completely off. Like the whole world is like my picture frame is tilted right now. Right.
Right.
And
camera's blurry type thing.
And I was like, the messed up part about it is that, I think this goes with a lot with addiction is that you feel weird talking about it.
Yeah, for sure.
Because I think there's a taboo about people talking about addiction.
Well, you're doing it in a legitimate way. You're not trying to get money for like your drug habit.
Yeah.
I'm trying to stop being addicted, and I'm having problems paying my bills.
Like and I was talking to Toby about it, and I said it kind of like felt weird. Like it just like I think it was a mixture of things. It's like I got sick last week. Like right after we did the show, the next day I was feeling like shit, crumb.
Yeah.
And you saw it because you saw.
It's really hard to diagnose when you're sick, though. I can't ever tell when you're sick.
Oh, I
You
got
just
sick.
tell me you're like, I have allergies today. I'm like, oh, okay.
Well, then it just doesn't. Usually allergies will progressively get better, but not get progressively worse. And this got worse.
Right.
And then I just was sick all last week, and I finally started feeling better. And it's still like just like this weird world where I've been living in this nicotine fueled world for 16 long years.
I would say we've been swimming in the nicotine ocean.
Oh yeah, yeah, most definitely. And then coming out the other side and just like you feel weird and everything feels off and you feel off balance. And I was trying to explain to her, I was like, it's weird. And because I'm not trying to say like, and I won't say, I've never been addicted to heroin. I can't say how hard it is to kick heroin. So I can't say
You haven't
that.
been curled up in the bathroom cold shitting yourself. So,
But
there's that.
yeah, and that's the
Or,
thing. I
crying
think
yourself.
I think when it comes to nicotine addiction, it's existential almost. Like you still feel it, but you're not like puking and have diarrhea
Shakes.
and stuff and the
All that.
shakes over it. It's just I mean, think about it, because you're not constantly doing heroin, but you do smoke like on average a person smokes 20 cigarettes a day,
For sure.
right? So like that's 20 times you're not doing something that you've been used to been doing for X amount of years.
I'd say mine's gonna be
Every
harder,
day.
but yours is definitely harder because you smoke and chew.
Yeah.
I only chew.
So now I don't do that.
Yeah.
So there's like this missing there's a gap in my lifestyle that I have to, and that's like I said, it's almost more existential than anything else.
Right.
Because now I have to rethink the way I do things. Car rides are fucked up. Car rides are messed
Spell
up.
that with a PH. You didn't mean it.
Yeah. Car rides are messed up. And like even down to like playing video games or after a meal or when I wake up in the morning. But I think it's just something you got to do. I don't want to have a lung removed or get lung cancer, or I want to live to be older than most of my grandparents lived to be. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And 2 out of 4 of my grandparents smoked, and they didn't live to see 70. The other one, he died of a heart attack. But that was more about. It wasn't less about his lifestyle. That was about. Well, it was and it wasn't. It was because of what's that? I can't remember the disease, but you get it, and it messes up your heart from being around like dust from bird feces,
Oh yeah. I
like
forget the name.
working inside of like outdoor warehouses and buildings and
I was
stuff
a
like that.
professional, I had my laptop.
But that's what he had,
Yeah.
right? So I feel like that's not really. I mean, it isn't something that he didn't. I mean, he didn't want it. You know what I mean? It was just about the working conditions he was in.
Right.
He couldn't really affect that. But I mean, and then the last one, she didn't smoke, and I'm not much of a drink. I'm not a drinker either,
Right.
right? And she lived to be almost 80. If it wasn't for her asthma, she probably would have lived longer.
Well, after we start getting our fourth V-scenes and getting our minds downloaded into the Neuralink, it won't really matter how old you are, because we'll just live on in perpetuity in another computer simulation inside of this one.
So what you're telling me is that me kicking nicotine and trying to live a clean life was all for naught.
Well,
Because I feel like that's what you're telling me right
the
now.
Matrix, right?
Yeah.
Where Cypher was in the restaurant talking to the agent, and he's like, "I know the steak doesn't exist,
Mhm.
but the Matrix is telling my mouth that it's delicious and it's warm, and basically it chooses the Matrix."
Mhm.
Well, you picture yourself in that pink goo,
Mhm.
with all those tubes in
Yeah.
your bottom hole and your top hole, all the holes in your back,
Yeah.
and I have to imagine every time you chew tobacco or smoke a cigarette or drink alcohol or any drugs, whatever, one of those little spiders, like, he jabs you like this little fucking pokey thing.
Yeah.
Freaking pokey thing.
Yeah.
Right? So now you're just like, no, stop poking me.
Yeah.
I mean, it's better.
I guess. But so do we want to get to the topic at hand? Because I feel like it's something that has to be like kind of fleshed out to explain to everybody. Because when you first said it to me,
Well,
I was like, I had like question marks over my head. Like
yeah, I hadn't even heard about it.
I was, this
Who
is
was
like
it that said
something
that to us?
that was JMY5.
Oh, yeah.
The guy that makes the artwork for the
guy
show.
that does the artwork for the show.
And brought us like probably a topic that literally
changes.
I haven't seen anybody cover yet.
Shout out to that JNY5 Internet Studios over there on Instagram. Check him out. He also could be in talks about doing some apparel work.
Man, he does good work.
I can't wait. I know he's scratching his actual brain. I feel like he cut the top of his head off. Yeah. And he's scratching his brain trying to
he works in the zero crumb zone, if you know what
There's
I mean.
No crumb over there.
No. Yeah, he does. He has no crumb where he comes from.
Yeah, he's a fire maker.
I feel like our longtime listeners are gonna be, they're gonna be upset. They're like, what is this crummy?
What is this, Sunday school?
Yeah, what is this crummy Yeah, it's funny how, because I mentioned earlier, I asked Tobin's if she'd ever watched that show Seventh Heaven. I was like, what is this? I was like, what is this Seventh Heaven bull crumb?
Yeah, man. Just real quick.
Yeah.
The fact that you mentioned Seventh Heaven. When I was off the other day doing an Instacart run, this guy at Kroger that has worked aisle number 10 for the last 700 years is the guy from Seventh Heaven.
The dad?
He's the dad, but he's not the pedophile that they use as an actor. This is the real guy. He's not doing well.
Wait. I'm confused.
He looks just like this dude.
But he's not the pedophile.
Well, I think he's a nice guy.
Oh, okay. So you're saying he looks like him, but he's not a pedophile.
Correct.
Okay.
The no P-file zone.
Yeah, not to nerd out, but so, I've said before, I've been watching a lot of Star Trek.
Yeah.
And
watching it when I came over earlier.
Yeah, and I made a revelation about it, just for anybody out there that's interested in useless information, is that, so, speaking of Seventh Heaven, because I mentioned it, the reason I mentioned that was because me and Toby were sitting in the living room, and our one evil cat, Tuffy, was like sprawled out on the couch. And I said, man, she's in Seventh Heaven right now. And then for some reason, I started singing the theme song of Seventh Heaven.
I'm sorry, but I don't remember. Please don't sing that.
I'm not going to.
Thank you. I don't need that evil in my life.
So I started singing it. And then I was like, wait a minute. I was like, the dad from Seventh Heaven, the pedophile, was in the first Star Trek movie, right?
Yeah.
He was the captain of the Enterprise who had taken over after Kirk. I was like, the mom in Seventh Heaven was in the fourth Star Trek movie. And she was like a whale biologist.
WTF.
Yeah. I was like, I wonder if they talked about that. I'm sorry. That was a tangent. That's not even going off the track. I took us on a roundabout to
WB screams, get to the topic.
Oh,
man.
Man.
Your phone real quick.
Man.
Listen, you come for the topics, you stay for the useless rambling.
Okay.
We're just two down to earth boys.
Are you wanting me to get to?
I need to show you a picture. This will be the last time we talk about Seventh Heaven. We haven't done a good long cast in a while. We might as well, right? As long as it keeps recording. My silly dumb brain didn't bring that new recorder because I'm a dumb head.
Oh, did you get it already?
Yeah, it came in. What's today? Wednesday? Came in Monday.
Yeah. Sorry, was it Debbie?
Debbie B.
Sorry, Debbie B. But understand, you're on the live, and like this.
Let's just listen. If you've ever listened to the podcast, it's a lot different to listen to than it is to watch it live.
Yeah,
I get it.
Yeah, you're watching. See, the finished product is like a fine-tuned bratwurst.
Yeah.
You're actually getting to see, what we put in this sausage.
Yeah, it's not good.
No, not at all.
We try our best though.
This ain't even be real.
We like to make you guys laugh and show you we're down to earth. And I talk to every single person that sends me a message. Yeah.
Okay then.
Seventh Heaven was responsible for a lot of my teenage angst, if you will. Now anyway, so let's get on to the topic. Brought to us by JNY5 Internet Studios over on Instagram.
Yes.
Did you save that? You freak.
No, I was seeing if
I'm talking crumb.
I was seeing if there was an exposure, like a overexposure of one.
I understand.
Okay, so JMI5 sent us this, and this was a thread started by a Captain. What is his name? Sorry, that's gonna get edited out anyway because it's background talk.
On there. I'm just not trying to upset the YouTube fan. The Fugle family, if you will. We're a part of the
Okay,
Fugle family. We're like
so
the black sheep of the family.
this is actually we gotta credit the person who who like he sent us tweets initially from this guy, right?
Okay,
Who's
yeah.
doing the good work, like doing work that nobody else is doing. It has to do with how much like China is
China
China is infecting the global economy and our economy.
U.S. industry.
Yeah, and I'm here to tell you
US
something now.
country.
Earlier today, I actually saw something else about this where someone was talking about how, people are worried like if China becomes like the powerhouse, like the world power, right, takes our place on the stage as the power, like you think we're bad.
Oh
You think we're bad.
yeah, yeah, we are.
We are bad.
I mean-
I'm not. I mean, we shit. Crumb. You could go back through through so many of our episodes where all we do is talk crumb about what our government has done. But
That's pretty much what we made our bread and butter
we've
on.
talked a lot of crumb about the Chinese government though too.
Yeah, well, Tricoms. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Chinese
So that being said, if they fully take over,
communists.
it was going to be bad. Like you won't hear our show anymore. I'll tell you,
You know
that.
that,
Right now.
you know that factory we talked about?
Yeah.
In China.
Yeah.
I think it's in China.
Yeah.
Where they had to put up suicide nets.
Yeah, that was in China.
Okay.
It's the Apple factory, wasn't it?
Yeah, they have a name for it, but it's an Apple factory,
Mhm.
and they still let the workers go on occasional breaks. I think they call it sleep.
Mhm.
And then they were like going on top of the roof and trying to kill themselves, jump off
Yeah.
the roof. So they had to put up nets to collect the suicidal jumpers. Sorry, that's it. I'm just saying that'd be.
Oh, I thought there was like a strange comment or something.
Oh, Chubb says, "What up?"
Okay. Congratulations, Chubbs, by the way.
Yeah, congrats. I was curious as to why you guys are wearing the same shirt though. But anyway.
So, anyways,
That's me.
okay. All right.
Or
Sorry.
it's a giant monster.
It's whatever. So, to say that the CCP, the Chinese Communist Party, for those just listening,
Yeah.
CCP, they are like deep meddling into affairs of our economy and the world economy on a scale like after I saw this, I was not aware of.
Yeah. Did your head explode?
Yeah.
Not just because of nicotine lack, but just the information itself.
Okay, so I'm going to start with these tweets by Captain Jeff Irons, or at JCap Research.
Okay.
He's the one that kind of got the ball rolling on this, right?
For sure.
The first tweet was the only question that needs answering by USA, not JCap Research, is do JCap action threaten the USA domestic supply of rhenium? Oh, this is okay. So Captain Jeff Irons, Captain Snorf. I'm gonna mess this up. Snorvajeff. This is on Twitter.
You gotta say it like that.
He's asking about the company JCap Research, which has been tied to China. Do JCap actions threaten the USA domestic supply of rhenium? Rhenium is a rare earth element,
right?
Precious metal, right?
I believe so.
Yeah. Your license revocation justification can even just be just for this post, you geniuses. Actually, under EEO, no justification needed to ban you. That didn't make a lot of sense, but it will here in a minute. So basically, J Capital is a front for the Chinese to attack our national security through our markets.
Mm-hmm.
It's a private company owned by China.
China.
Let's
be specific.
Where they, so basically, this company, China, working through this company, shares shorts on the market regarding the price of shares for this company that mines rhenium. For the sole express purpose of, I just had a brain fart. Sorry. So when they sell shorts for it, they're basically saying that they're going to fail at what they do.
They're betting on a fail.
They're betting on a fail so that when the company does fail, they'll not only make money on that, they can also swoop in and buy the company itself and start harvesting those rare earth elements. Correct?
Yeah, I learned about put options after 9/11 when I found out all the people that put in put options on whatever company it was that owned that. It was either the airport or that plane, basically. The stock shot down. There were a lot of people in power In the government here, of course, that had put options on that company on September 10th. I'm just saying.
Yeah, so they've been putting in uh this company's also been responsible for putting specific bids in on things, trying to intentionally lower the price, right? So by
Market
saying,
manipulation.
yeah, manipulation in order to say, okay, so the market price right now for this, let's say $45, right?
Mhm.
Well, this big huge company says, I ain't paying no $45 for this thing. I'm only going to pay 15 for it. How about that?
Catch me outside.
That's smart. And in a way, when you're talking about, that's not a company doing that. That is a government doing
A
that.
government, yeah.
That is market manipulation. That's economic warfare in and of itself.
Right.
Especially when you have China right now, who are deeply invested in rare earth element mining in Africa.
Right.
Like,
Also, their bastard stepson, North Korea, supposedly has one of the largest amounts of rare earth minerals.
I wouldn't be surprised by that.
Remember we shared that meme whenever that came out, before all those talks between Trump and Winnie the Pooh's little brother.
Mhm.
There was like some economic survey that was done in North Korea, and they were like, they have the most rare earth minerals of some kind, and it was like, and it had an eagle looking over towards North Korea. It's like, we need to go there to spread some of that freedom.
Yeah, but China has basically been playing the same game that Europe and the United States and whatnot played in the earlier part of the 20th century, with like late period colonization, or mid. I'd say
It's been long enough to where we can act like it's below us. You know what I mean?
it's
Like, we
not.
wouldn't do that.
Yeah, it's not early colonization. Let's call it mid colonization. Let's like early 20th century. We would go into a region. They have something we want or need.
Yeah.
Right, a commodity.
The people that live there just part of the land.
And we're like, hey, we need this. So this is what we're going to do. We need this. If we can't get it readily available from the people that control this territory now,
Yeah.
we're going to like overfund the people that will let us take the take the crumb that we want.
Yeah.
And then have them take over.
Yeah.
And then we're going to get what we want. And then if they disagree with what we're doing, we'll overthrow them too, and then put somebody else in their place.
Most definitely.
I.e., the term "Banana Republic" is where that came from.
Much of the Middle East, you mean?
I mean, we talked about it extensively in our episodes about Iran and whatnot, and trying to let people understand, like, there's a reason we're not well liked in those parts of the world, or even in South America, is because we've been I mean, in reality, I would say in the early 20th century, you would say it was England and places like that that were playing heavily into those areas. We were kind of just like starting to dip our toes at that time, but then I'd say
established us as the world police. That's when we pretty much.
I'd say after World War II, we kind of dug in late period colonization, and then
you said we leaned into it. Right?
We leaned into it for a minute. Let the CIA do the dirty work for us.
Right.
It's like the other day we watched that stupid movie. Yeah, that I've never heard of before. I don't know how it existed. It must have just like went under the radar about the Iran Contra.
It wasn't even straight to DVD. It was straight to Netflix. It was straight to like Redbox.
But I mean, it was all right. It wasn't a bad movie, but it wasn't that good either.
Yeah.
But it was about Iran Contra, which is, as far as I'm concerned, that's late period colonial tactics right there.
Yeah.
But the Chinese are doing that in Africa right now, where they're going in.
Well, I think Africa is a proxy war, right, between us and China, the U.S. and China.
Sort of, but not. We've kind of backed out of what's going on in Africa, and the Chinese have come in and say, "Hey, you know what we're gonna do? We're going to. You guys got stuff we want, so we're gonna come in here and we're going to.
I need this more than you, I think.
We're gonna mine it, or you're gonna mine it, and we're gonna collect it, and in return, we're going to give you infrastructure.
And if they don't do it, what do you think would happen?
Oh, I'm sure they would do exactly what they're doing with this company in Alaska right now with the rhenium.
Yeah.
They're gonna go in. They're gonna manipulate the markets, and they're going to basically perform vulture capitalism, which is kind of messed up when you think about it, because all the Chinese are doing is they're playing our game, right?
Yeah.
Like, and
I've said how
I
many
have to give them
times.
props because it's like they took our rule book, right?
Yeah.
They took the capitalist rule book,
Right.
and they're like, let me go through this. Let me read it. I want to read every single line of this. I want to figure out the whole philosophy behind how this works.
Yeah.
And then I want to use it against them.
Well, how many times have we talked about before communism, and I would say its core is just manipulation to hyper-capitalism.
Well, that's the thing. It makes
controlled by very few.
it makes it easier for them because they can, whether they be these shell companies or what, they all have the same CEO,
Yeah.
right?
Right. Yeah.
Winnie the Pooh. In the grand scheme of things, he's the CEO of all these companies, so he can make these calls with these companies. Whether or not it's actually good for people is irrelevant to their conversation. They're about control.
It's not important.
Because the thing is, if they could corner the market on rare earth elements, which that's becoming very, very important in this day and age, considering that most of our technology we use, whether it be cell phones and communications, microchips, or anywhere else, uses these rare earth elements.
This goes back to a comment we had a second ago. Matt Lentz,
Mhm.
our dude from Instagram, he said it's an all-out race to whoever wins the 5G AI hot race. Whoever controls that wins all. So of course they're going to want all the rare earth minerals in order to win that race.
Well, like, and then you look at the company. I'm gonna mess it up, but Huawei. They're the big
Huawei.
Huawei. They're the big telecommunications company out of China.
Didn't we ban their phones here?
Yes.
They were supposedly spying.
Oh yeah. I'd say the two big. As far as I know, the three big cell phone providers: Huawei, Apple, and Samsung.
Right.
And Huawei, I'd say, is easily winning the game
because
they don't need the American market to sell to provide cell phones. They don't require our market because the thing is they're selling them virtually everywhere else in the world.
I like how they have all these people at that time. They were talking about Huawei or whatever it is, phones being like, oh my God, they're snooping on you, and everybody that had like an Alexa in their house or any of those like
Hey Wiretap, I need a recipe for chocolate chip cookies.
Yeah. Hey Wiretap, what's the weather like today?
You know, it's funny. Like, that's where people's minds go because, you know, it's like the same thing with TikTok. Like, they're like, the Chinese government's spying on you. Wow, I'm so much worried. I'm worried more about the Chinese government that's across the sea than I am about the government that's spying on me right here with every other social media app that I use on a daily basis.
All those,
or even if I don't it doesn't matter if you have Facebook, Instagram, or any of that. If you have a phone with internet capabilities on it,
it's listening. This one that I'm recording on right now, it's listening.
Yeah, I haven't really talked too much other than with Toby's and then like private conversations about quitting smoking.
Yeah,
but man, have I seen a lot of nicotine cessation ads in the last few days, and that's not helping. It's not helping, you know. But the thing about it is that if we don't try to stem the tide, I don't even know, it might be too late for real.
Yeah, well, I mean, we talked about this before with some of those episodes of the show. I always forget the name of. You mentioned one earlier. There's two, and they do like the crazy theories about how society could turn out.
Yeah.
Which two shows am I talking about? Electric Dreams.
Oh,
and, the Black Mirror.
Black Mirror.
Like, they talk about that too, where you become largely a consumer market, and you basically you reach a certain point where.
But the thing is I mean, a lot of people will point to. They say that the thing is like we've entered some sort of weird cellular symbiotic relationship with China, where they can't they can't let us fail.
It's an economic version of mutually assured destruction.
Yeah, because if we fail, most of what they've built their foundation upon is what we are.
Right. But just wait until they figure. The only thing they're waiting on is something to replace the dollar with as world reserve currency. That's why for a long time they did that. The BRICS nations, Brazil, Russia, India, and China. And I think Germany got into it too. There's a basket of currencies to replace the dollar as a world reserve. Meaning you had to buy that currency in order to get oil.
Yeah.
The only reason they need us, aside from our consumer base, is
the
world reserve status.
They're the world's largest producer of goods, and we're the large. I can't talk tonight. They're the world's largest producer of goods, and we are the world's largest buyer of goods.
Right. People
So
riding around Jazzies and Walmart buying things on Amazon.
at this point,
China.
it's a matter of closing out the markets in other parts of the world
Yeah.
and cornering the said production market. That's all it is for them.
What's the status of this company? They're looking into it, right?
Yeah, there's people looking into it right now, like questioning its motives and whatnot, because and there's people even calling out and saying, hey, like calling out to the US government, hey, you probably need to do something about this.
Right.
Because
government, we need you to help us fix the problem.
Because they're interfering with our market, which I don't know. This is a question you got to ask yourself: as a free market capitalist, are you really?
I'm not upset.
The thing is, they're playing by that. Like I said, they got the rule book.
Yeah.
This is one of those cases that don't hate the player, hate the game.
It's along the lines. This is where there's a divorce that happens between, I don't know, I guess libertarian or an anarchy mindset and these tactics, I guess.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the tax issue,
mm-hmm.
where we've got Bernie Sanders, who paid very little taxes, who wants socialism, talking shit about Trump not paying taxes. And I'm not mad. You shouldn't pay taxes.
Yeah.
Because why? Taxation is theft.
Yeah, true.
So are we mad at the two, the millionaire and the billionaire for playing by the rules?
Well, here's the problem though: is you can be mad at China because they're building this juggernaut based upon the back and slave labor of their own countrymen.
Yeah,
because that's the thing. They couldn't do what they do unless they relied almost exclusively on virtual slave labor to do it for them.
Oh, there's no virtual about it. What labor they're not using from their slave population, they're taking their organs.
Yeah, I just say, yeah.
China's a giant machine.
You could go back to our Falun Gong episode where we talk about them, or there's
that just came out in the news, and we did that show 6 months ago.
No, yeah, people are just now talking about it, or you can talk about what they're doing to the Ugyars.
Yeah,
which I probably mispronounced that too.
Well, we're American; we're allowed to do what we want.
Which I make a special effort to try to pronounce things properly, but occasionally I get it wrong. And if I did, go ahead and correct me.
Well, right now, you guys got to give him some slack. He's going through it.
Yeah.
Nicotine cessation.
My mouth is really dry right now.
Yeah. You know what would help that?
What's that?
Nice. LaCroix beverage.
It's funny. I'm out. Better go get some, shouldn't I?
Hey, guys on the Instagram Live, guess what's about to happen? We're about to go dark. We're going to keep rolling. It's going to be silent. I'll keep talking to you. But this is the part of the episode that you normally would just hear nothing. We just delete it. You wouldn't even know it happened. But here I am, talking. Talking. Anybody in the comments want to say anything? This is your time to shine.
You know what got me through my sickness?
What's that boy?
Not this boy. A boy just like this boy.
Oh, yeah?
That boy's in the house. Hot tea with Jameson.
Oh, what's that called? A hot toddy?
Well, it wasn't a hot toddy. Exactly.
No?
Because a hot toddy needs lemon and honey. I do that keto, so I can't mess around with that.
You got rid of it fast, though.
Yeah. Yeah. It was about 5 days. No. And it went to my lungs too, and I still got over it pretty quick.
You gotta try fasting now that you're going through this.
I am. I fast.
No.
Like a full fast.
Like we talked about before, the 3 days. Were there any more tweets to go along with this economic espionage?
Yes. You want me to read them?
If you wouldn't mind.
Okay, so it's a series of tweets that he put out.
The captain boy?
Okay, so one person pointed, this wasn't the captain, it was somebody else named Moose. Said, if only we could do something to fight off the corrupt shorters at JCap Research who spread lies dealing with American resources. Time to take our country back. It has been held down for way too long. J Capital tweeted back, LOL, you feel a little sorry for the pump crowd until you realize that they are aided and abetted by greedy elected government officials.
Oops.
Yeah. And then Moose went on to say everything is pumped to you and your cronies. You spread false information.
Playing the game, my dude.
Yeah. So, but the captain. Now I got to refind it. Where was it at? Shoot. Hold on. I had a whole series of tweets by him. Where did it go? I think it was this one. Yes. Okay, the captain wanted to say, in response to JCAT research here, where you have inserted yourself in the process, your actions disrupt the domestic supply chain for rare earth minerals that empowers all appropriate Fed agencies the power to make you stop. Guess how that can be guaranteed? Directive to SEC to ban you from U.S. markets. So, like I said, once again, they're telling the U.S. government, the SEC, the Securities Exchange Commission, hey,
Probably to check that out.
probably need to check these guys out because I don't think they're from Connecticut.
No,
Which is supposedly where they're
like
from.
An Asian version of the dude from Wolf of Wall Street, where he's got the microphone. Let me show the people on the live what I'm talking about. Where's it?
Oh yeah.
Going through it.
Like these guys.
Pump the sales.
They're like with their best, like trying to do American accents, and they've got their eyes like open like this, and they're like, "Yes, we are from Connecticut."
Yeah, that's right.
And that's not me trying to be racist. That's
no, it's not racist. It's just what they sound like.
Well, it's if English isn't your first language, it is what it is.
I'm not mad.
Like I'm sure you make fun of people who Chinese isn't their first language, and you talk about how they have an accent.
These Chinese people, right? That are not respectful of the Caucasian race, okay?
Yeah.
They have a cell phone company called Huawei, right? You know what that's dangerously close to?
Yeah.
Laowei. Which is the racial slur that they use to describe our pink bottoms, which just means ghost of your ancestors, meaning you're not even a shadow of what your ancestors were. So take that, put it in your pipe, smoke it.
So he goes on to say, Captain Jeff Irons goes on to say basically their actions after I guess there was a crisis involving having to do with those legal shortings that happened right after like some sort of U.S. crisis, and he's basically telling them like, you literally waited until there was a crisis and then you did this.
Yeah.
Because this is what you like. This was your plan the whole time. It's not coincidence that you waited until there was a crisis for you to
waiting for the weak spot.
Yeah.
Weak spot to strike. Oof.
Yeah, he said all of your previous behavior was legal, but after the emergency proclamation, your actions endanger our country's supply of rhenium, and you are losing your trading license. So, if you want to go check out the tweets for yourself, you could go over to Captain Jeff Irons at @_SNORIFFEJ.
That's the Twitter?
Yes, that is his Twitter.
Copy. Yeah, he had those up there. I had another message if you don't mind reading it.
Okay.
If you can find it.
Who's it from?
That
doesn't narrow it down.
It came up. It was earlier today. I want to say it was Matt Lentz, but I'm not 100% sure.
Okay.
We were talking about Trump's. I think it's the 3-letter ATF. I think.
Mm-hmm.
You see the new weapons ban or the new weapons?
Yeah. Okay. ATF claims Q's AR pistol is an SBR.
Short barrel rifle.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Making it illegal without a permit.
Huh.
So basically, I forget the number he used. Was it 3.2 or 3.5 million? Like you just made felons out of
3.5 million gun owners with this. You made felons with the stroke of a pen.
Yeah, Donald Trump did that, and he said it's highly ironic that he went after a company, or they went after a company called Q.
Huh.
You know, a lot of really funny Q things happening lately that aren't positive.
Well, you know what's weird was that true, that post that we saw the other day about how I guess the House of Representatives like more or less unanimously passed a resolution to condemn Q, or was that fake?
I did not see that.
Hold up.
This moves me into my next topic too. If you want to listen what happened here.
Uh-huh.
We got to talk about this floating video.
Okay.
The one that I went on Marfugal News and talked about. Have you watched that yet?
The floating video?
Yeah, the video where the T-Man, he was over in the hospital allegedly. Hold on, let me switch the camera. Allegedly,
Uh-huh.
he was in the hospital for COVID,
Yeah.
and he's basically exactly how he always is. He just didn't have as much makeup on, and he wasn't wearing a tie,
Yeah.
so that lets you know he's sick. And Marfugal, like, let's say that you're a still frame, right?
Mm-hmm.
He puts a sticker up here,
Yeah.
sticker up here on your shoulder, and some other flat lines, right?
Yeah.
And as the video goes on, the camera doesn't seem to be moving, right?
Mm-hmm.
But all the stickers have moved, as if he's on a ship. They're saying he was either on a ship, he was on Air Force One, or he was in a submarine, because something was going to happen, right? And Marfugal's not saying that lightly.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he's saying they're lying to you probably about this COVID stuff. He's hiding for another reason.
Yeah.
You know, we got all these stories that seem to come out every day from NASA about flyby objects and like asteroids are going to strike the Earth and all this,
Yeah.
or war, or an assassination attempt. Of course, the Q crowd grabbed it and they were like, "Well, it's because they're about to go arrest all these pedophiles."
Mm-hmm.
Nothing happened, and then they did that fake drive-by video. Did you see that one? That's what I called in about last night.
Yeah, I did see about that. Yeah.
And Marfugal is one of the only people I've ever heard talk about this. I read about this a while ago. That technology where they had, like we were talking about with the hologram,
Mm-hmm.
where it can be like there might not be anybody in the car, and they just broadcast this holographic signal rather, onto the glass to make it appear like he's in there. And Trump gives it one of these. When you ever seen him wave like that?
Yeah.
Carefree, childlike wave.
Probably a body double.
That's what Marfugal said too.
Yeah.
Like, we talked about body doubles. We talked about the fact that I don't know. That's where the Google search.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that though. But the DC Deets, he doesn't share things lightly.
Hold up. That's something we probably need to talk about before we go.
So what are your thoughts on the floating video? The one I said where Marfugal put up the stickers and it looked as if he was on a ship. Like he was moving as if he was in water, underwater, or in the air.
Or it wasn't real. I mean, think about it. I mean, I was talking to somebody the other day about this where what if the notion of like not only just computer generated images, but AI's ability to recreate things has become more accurate than we know.
It's possible, but still, why would the image shift that way if your camera's set on a fixed position? It's like this right here. This camera hasn't moved anymore unless you shake the table, or I shake it, right? Like you're not going to do this. You're not going to shift.
But the thing is, like, if they're both all on the same plane together, right?
Well, they're saying he's in the hospital.
Uh-huh.
We're all kind of on board with like he's on a plane, he's on a submarine, he's on a ship. So that's what they're saying. That's why the shift happened, right? So why was he on a ship, a plane, a submarine when they claimed he was at Walter Reed? You know what I mean? Was an attempt on his life? Is there some silly shit, some silly crumb going on? Like what do you think about that? Because we haven't talked about it yet.
I mean, maybe they thought something was about to happen. Hold on.
I just don't know what it would be. Everything's getting so crazy right now. You just don't know.
Oh, I mean, for all we know, maybe it was a drill. Maybe they're seeing that they had the capabilities for him to go into hiding for X amount of time if something were to happen.
He also put out his "I have COVID" announcement 33 days before the election. We all know that nothing is symbolic.
Now,
I mean, nothing is coincidence.
So,
it's symbolic, right?
Let me go ahead and read this because I feel it might tie into it.
Yeah.
But it is official. So on Friday the 2nd, the U.S. House of Representatives voted on a resolution titled "Condemning QAnon and Rejecting the Conspiracy Theories It Promotes" into the House of Representatives for the United States Congress. It passed 371 to 18. Okay, so I would say, considering the amount of people that are in Congress, that is all but unanimous.
Yeah, I can't hear you over the sound of me screaming "Trust the plan."
So basically, doesn't that seem a little bit like QAnon? I feel like amongst the mainstream, it hadn't gained enough traction for them to actually like be voted on like that.
No, they've largely ignored it.
Yeah, but to vote on it like that, and not only that, right after that happened, uh, the FBI went on to identify the movement as a domestic terrorist threat.
Good. By good, I mean
I don't like
uncomfortable
listen.
giggling.
I don't like giving the Q crowd traction by any means.
No, I mean,
You-
we've talked about it from every single
we-
angle possible.
We know that because I still think you can't get me on board.
What do they call it? A psychological operation?
Yeah, psyop.
Psyop. That's it. Yeah.
Because you can't hook me with this white hat. I can't talk tonight. You can't hook me with this white hat crumb.
Yeah, bull crumb.
Okay, bull crumb.
Yeah, it's a lot bigger crumb.
Okay,
Stinky.
when you're just telling me trust the plan.
Yeah, I don't trust.
Because
you
here's the thing.
I don't know who you are.
Honestly,
You told me you'd lie to me. And
yeah. And as much as you've said this is going to happen and that's going to happen and then nothing happens.
Did you see what they posted on qmount.pub?
No.
Shortly after, it was right. I want to say it was right after Trump came out and said, "I got the CV." It was a picture of him with a black obelisk in the background, and there was like fire, and it said something about the hunters have become the hunted. It begins.
Okay. But here's the thing. As far as I'm concerned, this whole vote by Congress
It's very strange.
wouldn't it almost embolden them?
Yeah.
Because now
Well,
they've taken an official stance against something that before most people considered a LARP.
or didn't even know
So
about.
so you are telling me right now
Yeah.
that something that the majority of the mainstream society in the United States and the world consider a LARP, like it's not real.
Or they've never heard
They
of it.
actually voted on this. They spent your tax dollars
Yeah, to vote.
to vote on this.
That's great.
So, as far as I'm concerned, this does two things. It does two things. It
emboldens the letter Q.
it emboldens the Q crowd, right?
Yeah.
And it validates them as legitimate movement.
Well, that's the thing too that they've done with a lot of other things that were psyops, where they know that the two most untrusted institutions in the United States, maybe even the world, are government and the media, right? So they use the media to talk crumb about it, and now they've got the government on there like, we voted almost unanimously against this. So everybody that wasn't on board in the first place but might have been on the fence was like, I'm gonna go over here. I'm gonna go on this cute letter Q.
And that's the thing.
That's dangerous.
So it almost makes me think, and they kind of did it on the slide. Like you notice, like you hadn't seen anything about it.
No, I didn't see it.
The
at all.
Deets sent it out in the group chat, but it was just like a passing thing,
Yeah, I missed it.
right? He didn't.
Deets doesn't sleep. Though.
I don't
He just
even-
lays down and waits.
Usually, when he puts something up there like that, he'll even hit me with that trust the plan crap.
Just to get you angry.
Yeah.
Can you talk to the fine folks on Instagram Live real quick while I go outside and do a security check?
But yeah, the article goes on to say that the FBI has identified the movement as a domestic terrorist threat. BuzzFeed reported earlier this week that followers of QAnon targeted the resolution's author, New Jersey Democrat U.S. Representative Tom Malinowski, with death threats. Malinowski's resolution condemned and rejected the conspiracy theory the movement promotes and included a list of crimes in which the perpetrator cited QAnon as a guided inspiration. The resolution additionally pointed to FBI and U.S. military warnings about the movement's potential to foment political tension and radicalization. The Q movement adheres to an unfounded theory that a cryptic government official named Q is exposing a plot against Trump by deep state actors involving Satanism and child sex trafficking. It has gained more attention as it has spread in conservative political circles online. Some believers have been accused of plotting or carrying out violent crimes. In April, an Illinois woman was arrested after she traveled to New York with illegal knives. Illegal knives? Okay. And wrote on Facebook that Hillary Clinton and Joe Biden need to be taken out. That sounds. That sounds like a. That sounds in and of itself like it was some sort of sleeper agent nonsense like that's made up. Like, who goes with illegal knives to take out Hillary Clinton and Joe Biden? In statements to the Tribune, 3 of the 4 Texas Republican dissenters dismissed the resolution as a political stunt and said House leadership should instead be focused on addressing the economic fallout of COVID-19 pandemic. It's a swampy strategy to call a fringe right-wing group with no mention of Antifa and other radical leftist groups after over 100 days of unmitigated mob violence in cities across America.
Sorry, had to be done.
Yeah. Now, here's the thing about this article. They raised a good point. I was reading it while you were gone.
Yeah.
One of the guys who voted against it was basically saying, how are we, what I said before, how are you spending time on this?
Why are we spending taxpayer dollars on something that we don't
He said a right fringe group that in all reality, very little like actual things have occurred because of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they mentioned one lady who got caught traveling from Illinois to New York with illegal knives. They use this in the article.
Do you think they were assault knives?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Because she was traveling from Illinois to New York with illegal knives, and she wrote on Facebook that Hillary Clinton and Joe Biden need to be taken out. Okay, that's one lady. All right, and the guy who voted against the resolution was like, "How are we spending time on this?" Right, when you have a fringe group who, in reality, spends most of their time online.
Right.
And you have another group in this country who you have politicians outwardly saying it's just an idea.
They support it lightly.
And they are literally burning cities to the ground.
Burning things down.
And are very well organized and committing acts of domestic terror.
We're talking about Antifa if you ever left your house.
How? And you're not going to have a resolution against Antifa?
Right. I thought they already did, though. But who knows? I'm not sure.
I'm just saying.
I get it for sure. So even the ones that were detractors were like, "This is nonsense.
Yeah.
Why are we doing this?"
Yeah. They're like, this is a waste of time. When you he's like, we could be spending time actually working on some sort of way to help with the fallout from the economic crisis that COVID has created.
Yeah.
We're dealing with this.
That fake CD virus.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if you saw it. I posted it in the story the other day, but somebody had asked Nancy Pelosi a question about how she felt. Like, you're number 3 in line for the presidency, and the president just came down with CD, and Mike Pence's test is still out. So has anybody contacted you about, like, maybe stepping this up a role, or are you worried? And she basically admits, like, that doesn't exist anymore. She's like, well, something about military and something about FEMA.
Yeah.
Like, we're just out and out in the open now that it's theater.
Yeah.
Like it came out of that drunk pregnant dog's mouth. You know what I mean?
She's a pony-faced
dog-faced
pony soldier,
said Joe Biden.
But quite pathetically.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
I think that about wraps it up for the show.
It does.
We're sitting pretty at about hour 7.
See that?
Yeah.
Hour 4 by my count, but I was slow to the game.
Yeah. Well, we'd like to thank y'all for listening.
And for those of you that came over to youtube.com/Bones and Tub Show, joined us from the Fugle fam and followed,
Yeah.
If you haven't already followed us over there, go ahead and do it. And we're going to be doing lives.
Yeah.
We'll be doing lives.
Yeah.
Maybe my dude here will do some lives.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah,
I'm reclusive.
he's shy.
Yeah. We'd like to thank y'all for listening. There's ways to get a hold of us.
Such as Instagram.com/Bones and Tubs.
Hit us up in them DMs.
Yeah. Twitter @Bones Tubs.
You can hit us up in our Gmail.
Gmail.com/Bones
and Tubs.
We're also on Facebook, sadly. Facebook.com/Bones and Tubs.
And if you want to give us patronage,
Patreon.com/Bones and Tubs. I just signed up for their merch program.
Mm-hmm.
We put up new tiers, and we're going to be doing the contents. I've already marked. I had somebody, somebody figure out some topics.
Okay.
Help me out from the book, wherever it might be, by William Cooper.
Oh, okay.
Horse. I'm going to do videos on those.
Oh, that'd be cool.
At my leisure.
Copy.
Oh, speaking of books.
I wrote one.
Yeah, Tubbs here is an author.
So,
He goes under the pseudonym S. James Imhoff over
Yes.
on Amazon.com. The book, oh Jesus,
is The King's Fire.
The King's Fire, a
Prophecy and Flame.
Check it out. I got one right here.
Yeah. You could buy hard copy, or you could buy a digital copy of it.
For those of you on the live, you get to see that author face. Look at
Yeah.
that. Look at that. Look, it's right next to your face. That's crazy. I'm gonna zoom in on that one.
But you can check it out on Amazon.
Yeah. Can't they buy a digital copy?
Yeah, you can buy a digital copy, or you can buy a hard copy. And if you buy the hard copy, you get a digital copy already.
And if you buy a hard copy and you write us on one of those things we just talked about,
yeah,
we will give you a secret address and you'll send it to us, and he will sign it.
I'll sign it, send it back.
Maybe he'll put some people.
Oh shit!
I mean, if you ask me, I'm not sure what he'll do.
Stamp it.
Can't speak for the man.
I'll stamp it.
What type of stamp?
You know what kind of stamp?
Does it sound like this?
Yeah.
Okay.
But other than that,
lighthearted humor for you.
Yeah, we hope y'all enjoyed the show.
JMY5.
Oh yeah.
And Blood of the Brave.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
No, I get it.
Yes, we had to thank JMY5 for doing the artwork for the show.
JMY5 Internet Studios on Instagram. Check him out.
Check out his artwork; it's great. And thank you to Blood of the Brave for letting us use his music on the show.
Blood of the Brave, Bandcamp, Blood of the Brave, Twitter. I think it's AKA Kyle Reese, and all the other socials. Check him out. Check out his music.
Yeah.
Let him know Bones and Tubbs sent you.
We'd like to thank you all for listening. We hope you enjoyed the show. We'd like to welcome all those new listeners from Marfugal. And we hope you come tune in next time. And between now and then, we hope you stay safe.
Pray for our dude Tubbs. We love you.
We really do. It is a good one, but it was a struggle.
Struggle is real. See you later, YouTube. You should wave like Donald Trump. Can you do this? Bye.
Bye. Have a wonderful time.